Yeah, I can hear.
Wonderful. So good to hear your voice. And I'm happy to give you those passwords now. Are you ready to write them down? Or whatever you do.
Yeah. I'll just write. I got it. Okay.
Yes, take your time and let me know when you have a pen ready.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. The password into the channel should be my former manageress, Lorian Ann Fenton. It was secure from her because she had some kind of mental problem where she had the same problem.
No.
So it's always remember that, and let's see if you can get in. And if you can get in, make certain that you can make make Google remember the password.
I'll use Chrome, so Google remembers it.
Yes.
I'm on two-step verification.
Oh shit! Let me turn my phones on. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're gonna send me. Yeah, they're gonna send me the goddamn message that
you get a verification code. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Shit. So give me a minute here. Fuck. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
All right. This is so aggravating. And okay, don't do anything yet. Wait till we get there. Wait till I tell you the phones are on.
Yeah.
Give me a second
Sure.
as well to try and put. Anyhow, my whole life fell apart with everything that happened with Lena. Crazy shit. So. Other than that, I hope you're doing well amidst all the furlough. How much longer is your furlough continuing?
Oh no, that only lasted 10 weeks. I've been back at work for a few months.
Oh, okay. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And give me a few minutes. I'm glad to see that your work is considered that essential. That's good. So at least you're better off than the pubs.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, the pubs are still open, but they got the fancy rules.
Okay. Right. Thank you for informing me about that. And there we are. That's right. I remember then the pubs opened it before the schools did. They had the argument about whether the pubs were more important than the schools.
I know, but they had the off license open anyway, so And when you got social distancing, I mean, nobody I know at work can be bothered going to the pubs anyway, or restaurants. They just made it too awkward. It's not particularly interesting anyway. This town's full of spies, and so you're guaranteed to be spied on. Because there's always going to be somebody saying, "Oh, look, they're not social distancing."
Good point. Okay, so both my phones are on. Let's have you try to get in, and hopefully we'll get the messages, and I'll respond to the best of my ability.
Yeah, so it is literally Spy Town. GCHQ is in the same town, so it's only my mum would look at me odd when I said it, and I was like, no. She's one of them as well, so whatever.
I didn't know that you were still. Did you physically meet her, or were you speaking to her on Skype, or?
No. My mum is the landlady of the house.
Okay.
And I still see her. So I'm still in contact with her family and stuff like that.
Right. I knew she was landlady, but I never knew she lived there.
She doesn't live here. No, but I'm just like in conversation when I talk about the town and stuff. I just I say, oh, there's spies, or I got spied on. That's just like but for her, it's something like, oh no, I must be making out you must be paranoid or something. It's ridiculous.
Right. Okay, here we go. Let's see if that's the incoming update.
Especially since I've been told she's a CIA asset, so she got to keep the illusion going. It's like everything else in her life; it's all illusion.
Yes, it's true. It's true. All life is an illusion. I haven't gotten anything from you yet, so hopefully.
In her life, I'm saying everything in her life is an illusion. I try to get through the illusion to get reality. This little place called reality.
Yes. Oh no, I understand you. Yes, and so let's see now. What was I going to say?
Well, it says I've got a list of places that I can get verification codes at. I just need the last 2 digits of your phone.
Okay, the last few digits of my phone are the one I use is 4 digits is 0255. If you want the full phone number.
No, I just want the last 2 ones because it says get a verification code at, and it's just got the last 2 digits.
If that doesn't work, the other phone number I can give you the Lifeline number, but the one I'm giving you is the one that I normally use, the one that's sponsored by Raymond.
One. So what are the last 2 digits on it?
The Lifeline number, the other backup phone is 1070, 1070 for the last four.
I got one that's 30, one that's 70, and one that's 55. So, I mean...
the 55 is, or 70 are the ones to work with. The other one would be obsolete. The other one's, yeah.
Okay, I'll send it to 55.
Okay, good.
It should happen almost instantly.
Yeah, that's for the best. There we are. Okay, good. So here we are. There we are. Okay, so the Google verification code is as follows. Are you ready?
Yep.
That's 232165. I'll repeat that. That's 232165.
Okay. Yeah, my mum and William's world is falling apart because of his scheme. William's scheme of having the house converted into a hotel or something, and now Boris Johnson's just said that you can have planning permission. You don't need planning permission. You can just do it anyway. So that's caused his plan to fail. Even though that's what he wanted, he's insane anyway.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he's starker than that.
Oh yeah.
So did the Google verification code work, I pray?
I think so. I've got your icon on the top right-hand corner of the screen, and so I suppose I'll go back into YouTube. Oh no, I'll go into your channel, won't I? Very undramatic. It just the screen disappeared, and that was it. Okay, I'll just go into YouTube. Switch account. Thanks, Dietrich. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. That's great. Yeah. It's just that the stuff that I use to download videos from YouTube isn't working now, and I think that either YouTube have blocked it or the internet company have blocked it. And they blocked it for a bit, and then my brother George called, and it mysteriously got unblocked. And then it got blocked again just the other day. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, so that's I don't know how long that's going to last for, because I'm supposed to meet up with their family because they've got a family crisis, and they haven't emailed me yet to confirm it. It's hilarious because I mean it's going to be like I had the same conversation last week, and it's going to be the same conversation again this week, but with like somebody else. Oh. You're like this one, like the youngest brother. I said I read Mein Kampf, and he was going on about how I must be a Nazi or something. It didn't make any sense what he was saying. I was just like, what?
Of course. Oh my
He's got the opinion like a lot of people do. It's like, why would you be reading it? Why would you be doing this? Why, I heard fucking Alan Watt, the crusty old Scottish guy, and why bother learning anything if there's no job at the end of it? And I was like, that. Yeah, that's what That's the total loser's attitude. You might as well just shoot yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, and at the same time, complaining why do you have to work? Oh, why do we have to work? Oh, but what's the point of learning anything if you haven't got a job at the end? You're just contradicting yourself. It's loony. Loony. I mean, all my life I've been doing catching up on homework. I couldn't do homework because so-called parents are arguing and fighting, whatever, having rows all the time and storming around. So I could never get the grades I wanted at school, and so I've always wanted to do my own studying anyway, because I want to do that anyway. So I don't get the mentality of only studying when you've got a job. But it's like, how much studying do you need for a job at a checkout anyway? Really?
Yeah. I mean, really, it's one of those things that it's maddening what people say you need, when it turns out that all that is mostly just it's mostly a time sink. You sink all this time and effort into it, and it doesn't give you shit in return.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's life. I mean, you learn stuff, and then it's like if you're just going to go to work and then just fall asleep for the rest of the time, it's like. That's not an ambition.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. I mean, really.
Yeah, it's the sort of stuff you learn in your own time, and when you learn stuff at work, but you learn stuff in your own time. I just study stuff just the interest out of learning about it. But yeah, he was like, what's the point of learning anything that isn't directly applicable to a job?
Yeah, yeah, really. It's so true. Oh my God. Hold on while I turn this shit off.
It's really defeatist. Yeah.
Oh God, I've got to. There we are.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's like, how did you get anywhere? He contradicts himself anyway because he spends his life reading books by old farts and stuff, about how they run the world. About how they run the world and how they planned everything for thousands of years and stuff. And it's like, what's the point of that? You're not one of them anyway, or are you?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's right.
I think most people come to the conclusion that he must be one of them because he's they're like doomsaying everything. You're doomed.
Anyhow, I'm so relieved that the password works for you because that shit didn't work for fucking Brendan Zoget. I don't know why nothing works for him.
Weird.
The password's
just got me straight through.
Oh, thank God! I'm so glad. And in terms of what you're doing, you're doing so much, and of course I've been emphasizing that more in the blurbs on air. I hope you've heard what I've said on transmission about it.
I hear some of them. I don't have time to hear all of them. I'm catching up on different things. But yeah, I catch them occasionally. I think I'm about 3 episodes behind or something now. But I'm still doing the videos and stuff, so yeah.
Well, I was definitely saying that if anyone deserves any financial donations, it's yourself. So I made certain everybody knew that because of all you do. I really had never, this is how stupid I was never really consciously thinking about how you were downloading all of the episodes, which I presume you're putting into the archives.
Yeah, that's right. They go onto the website, yeah. But I use a third-party program called YouTube DL, to download all the videos. I mean, it'd take all sorts of stuff off YouTube, and they've stopped working. It's stopped working because I think YouTube's just like clenching up or whatever. It's not interested in having anybody downloading their stuff because they don't get the adverts money.
True. Yeah. In other words, YouTube is basically turning into kind of like a neglected stepchild of the Google corporation, and we're kind of lost among YouTube on our own for the most part. Until somebody reports us for some kind of a violation of community standards or something.
Yeah, and then you go onto a more interesting network or something. YouTube's the thing is in internet land, whatever. YouTube's been around so long. It's sort of like the BBC or something now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, like old,
good analogy. That's a good comparison.
Sort of like old and predictable sort of thing,
Yes, that's right. And so, not quite sure if any the other stations don't have the reach. Of course, they don't. People would have to be looking for you in order to find you. Have you tried other venues on which to put some of your stuff? Or
I'm all over the place. I'm not bothered about that. I have the reach I want. Really, I can get.
Good.
I could contact anybody I want. Really, so it's all done like tacit methods. It's not. They won't mention me by name or anything, but it's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. So I'm supposing that when Lena Shea changed the passwords to the website, she gave you the new password, right? She must have.
I have a password for the site. I haven't used it. Oh yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I do have a valid password because I use that for the transferring the videos across.
Right. So the one that you should have, and just let me make certain you have this. What it should be for the it would be the normal email address, which was for the password should be the username. And would be my email address. The password itself should be all upper. The password to the website admin panel.
Right. No, I don't use that. I use just the FTP onto the uploads. I use the uploading bit. I could use that as well, but I don't need to access that part of the website. I just upload it into the uploads section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And once you do that, then everything is that's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I need. I can upload all the videos just using that. I'll just check now. It's working. It worked the other day.
Right. And that would be interesting, and see that
Yeah,
in case you need it. Okay, wonderful. And of course, the website admin panel URL, right? It would be douglasdietrich.com, the website, of course, / That's some interesting background noises. Are those birds? Some kind
seagulls,
of like raven?
I think. Yeah.
Seagulls.
Yeah.
Oh, you live in an area near the sea. I never realized how close you were to the ocean.
Yeah, I don't realise how. They just seem to be here for no reason. I don't understand why. But they think it's funny.
Was that?
I'm saying that the seagulls seem to think that's funny. They're laughing.
Yes, they do. They're laughing at it. Yes. Yeah, they're definitely on their own. So,
oh dear, they fly swooping right over my head lots. I think it might be the time of the year or something. It might do migration patterns or something. But yeah, Cheltenham isn't particularly near the sea.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Cheltenham isn't particularly near the sea.
Okay.
Not particularly.
Interesting.
I mean, it's,
I guess England itself is so small.
That's right. Yeah. they sort of like get drawn in, don't they, by the wind? So I guess if the wind blows them in like 50 miles, and you covered most of the land really if you go 50 miles in from the edge. I mean, yeah, England's like a small country.
Oh my God, that's incredible. Oh well,
I'm trying to figure out on your YouTube page how to get to the actual videos to download. Though I mean, I'm clicking on uploads and it's maybe I'm being dim about it. It just takes me to the general.
Well, but you've been doing this for a long time, right?
Yeah, I know, but it seems that I can't see anywhere that says how to download. Like there's usually a download
see.
video.
They changed the format.
Yeah, they changed the interface sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, now I got it. Okay, so I don't know how I got there, but I need to. Now I got there by luck. I'll just have to do it again. So I went back from video details and it came up to the channel videos. Oh, processing band videos too long. That's on an ages old one. I can delete that one, I suppose. 2020 701.
Oh my God, yeah. That's right. It's so depressing when those things happen. And, so by everything lately. I'm glad you seem to be doing well. I've seen so many photographs. I've got to acknowledge them more. I saw a photograph of you in the bandana.
That was nice. Face scarf. Oh, is it bandana?
Yes,
is it count as a bandana? I don't know. I thought bandana was just around the head.
Oh, good point. Yes.
Yeah, it's like fucking. That's one of the reasons I blocked Sarah Shields, but one of the reasons I blocked her is she won't insult Daniel Arola for his stupid fucking bandana, and yet Daniel Arola keeps on going on about wearing face mask, promoting face masks, and how if you don't wear a face mask you're mad, but he doesn't wear a face mask. And Sarah Shields is saying like he wears a bandana, and I'm saying, but that's not a face mask.
Yes, good point.
Just why are you sticking up for him? He's a total tosser.
Yeah.
He just comes up with his endless anti-Trump spiel, and it's just like it's not even relevant. He did one. I did a post comparing Ghislaine Maxwell with Evil Lynn from the He-Man cartoons. And I had loads of pictures to compare the two because there's an obvious similarity. It's like the hair colour, the facial structure, and she's avoided Evil Lynn's hairstyle. But some artist did paintings of her. I think when she was in, when she's not in prison but in remand or whatever they call it, in quarantine or something. And she had her hair done like Evil Lynn, just all tied back. So I put that in as well. But I did all that, and he was just comparing the two, and analysis based on her name as well, Ghislaine Maxwell. And then he did this quote with Donald Trump saying, "I wish her well," and it's like that's got nothing to do with it. It's saying it's because she's a child molester or whatever, or she's supposed, she's got that reputation, and she's associated with that, and yet they based her appearance on a children's character. So, it's saying there's something else going on in the background, like. They make that cartoon in order to give you the visualization of who these child molesters might be. So, like He-Man might be another child molester, and Beast-Man might be based on something else or whatever. I mean, it's that sort of investigatory stuff or whatever. You know, that you can't really argue against because it's there. The comparison's obvious. But he was like going on about Trump, and I was like, oh, fuck off. I've just seen it too many times. It's everything I write. He just comes up with a blah blah blah. Like, oh, like how white guys all jealous of black dicks or whatever.
Yes, that's right. It's always the same shit. Yeah.
It is.
You're right. It's just
it's not even appropriate, and it's just like, oh, whatever. I mean, I left him on there for a while on Facebook for a laugh, really, just to, you know, just so I'd imagine people be laughing at him, but no. It's like you're laughing at child molestation. Is like no, trying to bring it back onto Donald Trump when there's no real evidence that he's involved in it. I mean, you know, it might turn out in the end, but sort of like you've got to deal with things as they.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you got to deal with things as they come up. And when the fact is that Ghislaine Maxwell's already been arrested. So yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't. He doesn't have an adult attitude, just laughing at things like that. And I was like, can't bother, man. So I blocked him, and I blocked Sarah Shields because she was going, he posted that meme of Donald Trump saying I wish her well, and I was just I don't normally bother replying to Daniel, but that's just like a throwaway phrase that he uses. You know, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. Oh yeah, he said don't snitch on me. He said that it's a code for Donald Trump saying don't snitch on me, man, or something. And I was like, no, you're fantasizing. He's used that phrase, like, you know, loads of times. He used that on The Apprentice, like almost every show.
Yes.
They made a feature of it on No Agenda, the podcast. The amount of times he used it, and it's to say it just means nothing. You know, pretty much means nothing. You know, it's just like, yeah, take care or something like that. It's just something you say in closing. Can't say die you evil bitch or something like that because. She hasn't actually been found guilty of anything. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. You have it down. I mean, he's aggravating. He's annoying. He's irritating. I don't know why so many people even, you know.
He's not funny. Yeah, he's not funny, and he's got 1 or 2 followers, and it's like. As one of his followers commented on, I was like, oh, you're blocked as well. So I blocked 3 of them, 3 and 1 on that post.
Yes, yeah. He's managed to develop quite the group of enemies. He's just he's got nothing to do with his life. His I don't know if I've ever had an opportunity to tell you this, but oh my God, it's so frustrating because he's like he used to like load up videos of about myself, and I would appreciate that. But he was doing it because he had free software that was accessible on the internet.
Yeah.
Once he lost access to that free software, he couldn't do it anymore. And he was really dumb. I don't know how he did it in the first place. I mean,
I think he has a few fans or something. Yeah.
The time he was trying to help me produce, he was just so technically incompetent and retarded. He couldn't do that. It was awful. And everything kept falling apart with him. His stupid laptop. He had to do it on this goddamn little laptop. And I'm saying, why don't you use a computer? And because he lives in a home with this woman who I know who has one, but she only lets him use the laptop. She doesn't want him on her computer. Here's what happened was that he was homeless for like 15, 17 years, and he was living in a warehouse, and he was doing all this mail stripping and shit. And then finally, this wealthy woman, and she is truly wealthy, she wound up bringing him home like a fucking dog.
Yeah.
And she brought him home just as a fuck toy. And then whenever she's done fucking him, she literally just turns him out into the backyard where he can play with the rocks. I'm not kidding. That's why he gives you all these pictures of these fucking rocks all the time.
Yeah,
he piles up all these rocks in the backyard because that's all he's got to do all day when she locks him out.
Yeah.
And then, when I found out from him, because I'm like saying, well, if you need to download he says they're charging for the software now. And I said, well, I know this much. They can't be charging much. The software they're charging for, it's got to be a few bucks. It's like $1 something or $2 something at the absolute most. It's more likely just a few cents. And he said, well, I don't even have that. And I said, what do you mean you don't even have that? You're married to a sugar mama. And I said, I know she sends you shopping. She gives you money to shop, right?
Yeah.
And he says, no, you don't get it. I mean, I get none of it when she sends me out to shop and she gives me the money and I have to bring her home the change and I've got to give her the change. that's how it works. I can't do it otherwise. And then what about money? Doesn't she give you an allowance? No allowance, no money. She doesn't trust me with any money. And so he has no money. She basically feeds him, and she keeps him as a fuck toy, just an ambulatory dildo.
Yeah.
The guy's a slave. He's a fucking slave. So he gets shelter, he gets food, he gets gets to cook and eat, and she's just this rich old biddy, and I don't even think she's got him in the will. So maybe when she dies, the family will just kick him out like he's some kind of dog. Like her favorite dog that nobody wants. It's awful. But he was like. He said, "Oh, she's lucky. I'm lucky that she gives me unlimited access on the internet." And I said, "So she just gives you this laptop, turns it loose, and says, here, you got unlimited access on, and that's all it takes for you to surrender your independence to become a total fucking slave." I said, "Oh, fuck handcuffs and ankle bracelets and any whips and chains. All it takes is unlimited access to the internet for a man to surrender himself."
It's a sort of like globalist slave runner's wet dream, isn't it? I mean, all you need to do is give someone like that a laptop, and like you said, they're a slave for the rest of their life.
Holy shit.
Here's your Sunday porn you love so much.
Yes.
Just access to the porn channel, that's it. Yeah.
That's right, and so that's what he does. Since he doesn't work, when he's not every once in a while doing maybe some martial arts class with his buddies or something like that, the rest of the day he's on the internet just bothering people. Just harassing people.
Just trolling. I don't know what you call it, heavy trolling or something. Because most people just like do silly remark or whatever, but you just carry on, and it's like he just carries on like he wants to get blocked.
Yes, thank you, and. Oh my God! So aside from that, how else are you doing? Catch me up on what else has been going on with you. I take it you've been getting into some vicious confrontations on the internet with some people. Has that been the case?
No, I mean that was it really. Online it's fine, but there's other people who don't use the internet, and they've been going mad around the place. But I'll write up about it maybe at some time, but it just doesn't even sound. It just sounds so ridiculous.
Yes, and
like tenants and stuff going insane and stuff like that. And that sort of stuff. So I could splurge it all out, but it's just like, oh dear, there's somebody in the background making up stories for them to play out. So it's just a drama, and it's very very stupid. Like somebody was going to throw himself out of the top window of the house, and that's how he got evicted.
Oh my God!
Yeah, after he moved in and was like doing domestics, carrying out domestics like every day, every night, all 3 in. So I've been getting like 2 hours sleep every day for months.
That's awful. I'm so sorry. But you seem okay. How are you getting along with only 2 hours sleep? I mean,
I survived. I got over it. I mean, I've got back to as much sleep as I need now. But he's out anyway. So they sort of didn't tell me that he'd actually gone up to the top floor and tried to throw himself out, and the police are there as well and stuff. So it's like, okay, that's why he can't come back then. So I was wondering how much it would take to actually get rid of him, sort of thing, because it was just one thing after another, like every day. It was just, it was just ridiculous. And people before him, and somebody else before him, and my brother William, he's gone totally bonkers, but he's always been bonkers. He's always been totally mad. But and he was stalking Kate Moss a few years back. And he went over. Yeah, he stalked her home, and apparently he went to her studio in Germany and left stuff in her studio, like a yellow flower and a German World War I helmet or something.
Oh, your brother did this?
Yeah, well, sibling. I think more accurate. That's the word he uses, sibling.
I'm sorry. What's that?
He's sibling. He calls his relatives siblings. So you wouldn't think he was like me. There's no real, no personality resemblance. He's more of a leech. His middle name rhymes with the devil, so it's about all you need to know.
Right. So have the police or authorities been brought in on him for his stalking?
No. If you look up William Warrington Kate Moss Court, you'll find it on Google, and it was like in the papers and stuff. Okay. But he's not talking about that, but he's having a breakdown about something else. He's planning on selling the ground that the family home's built on and building a hotel or something. And it apparently didn't go through, even though Boris Johnson said that he was going to let things like that go through without planning permission. So I think the fact that it was going to go through, regardless of his attempts to sabotage it, is what threw him off.
Right.
Like I said, he's bonkers. I mean, he's nuts. You know.
Oh God! It's a.
So he was his scheme for like getting attention or something. I don't know what it was exactly, but he just he looks like shit as well. And I got so he was going on and on me about this mole I got on the side of my face, and which you can't even see because it was like on the temple, on the left temple. But what it was a clear mole, and what happened is that somebody who looked like one of the tenants who moved out, he shot me in the head when I was on my way back from work. I think it was with a BB gun. He shot me in the left temple, and I got this.
How did you go to the hospital?
No. I just sort of walked past. I mean, you can't die from BB gunshot or whatever it was, or air rifle. There wasn't any fracturing because it was right in the temple, and there was big scarring afterwards. And so I've been using mole remover on the mole and also get rid of the scarring. But the mole remover makes the skin turn brown. And so he was whinging his nuts off about that, and complaining to Mum, and then Mum was like trying to photograph me and all this sort of stuff, and it's like this tiny little brown patch of skin, and it's just like, why are you so concerned about it, really? Because I'm drawing attention to the fact that you used that guy to try and assassinate me, basically. Right. So yeah, it was the same guy who's trying to shoot me, who shot at my temple. He got thrown to the ground by this handler, and then he was like writhing on the floor, saying how much he wanted to kill me, how much he hated me, and he was like this like bald prick, like in his mid-40s or something. This just like looked like a complete wreck, but he was writhing around, and so I just carried on walking. I didn't want to stand around chatting to the two of them because they both looked like fags as well. Well, that wasn't the reason. I mean, they look like the sort of people that have been stalking me for a few years, and just like mumbling about me or whatever. And so lo and behold, eventually somebody just like him moves into the house, and then from the moment he moves into the house, he's stealing food off everybody. When we got like 6 people in the house, there's a lot of food to steal. Every day he was everybody shouting at him all the time, and he was just a total mental case, and he said, "Oh, I thought it was a free for all," after stealing food for like several weeks. And I was like, "What gave you that idea?" And he obviously heard that I decided to like set all the food that didn't belong to anybody. I had to put it all on the kitchen table where anybody could have it. Because, when people move out, they leave food. So if there's stuff in the kitchen that doesn't belong to anybody, just leave it on the table and everybody can help themselves to it. But that had already been dealt with by the time he moved in. There was like literally a handful of food left on the table. Because the last tenant was moving out, took over a week to move out, which was just ridiculous in itself. I mean, every day she find more and more stuff was going out of the house. There's just like a whole van load of stuff. And how much stuff do you need for one person?
It's such a waste.
Yeah. So he used that as an excuse for stealing all the food, but it was obvious that he'd been told, you can use that as an excuse, and everything else about it was all seemed to be directed. So he's out the house finally, but it's sort of like he was like a scapegoat for a lot of things going wrong when he was here. So the house was always a mess. It was always his fault. Food was always going missing. It was always his fault. But anyhow, yeah. So I'd emailed William, in response to him going on about my mole and how I must have, he was like acting like it must be cancerous or something like that, all this sort of crap when I've had it for decades.
That idiot.
Yeah, I know. Well, his mum, or my mum, whatever, works at the NHS, which doesn't mean anything because they're all fuckwits. They don't do anything. Because if you've seen the dancing nurses, that's that's just exposing the NHS, which is why they want to ban TikTok. Because it exposes the fact that they barely qualified to do their job anyway. I mean, even in the 60s, it was just like the Indians would come over with their crappy qualifications and they'd get a job in the NHS and barely understand a word of English and just fluff their way through it, just like go through general procedures. You don't really need that much training to be in the NHS. You just need to be there, sort of thing.
Right. Oh my God.
I mean, seriously, I think about it. I mean, it's like how much checking is the government going to do on NHS staff? Check if they're really qualified. I mean, as long as they've got the position filled.
Right.
And they'll leave it to the staff to check themselves and make sure they've got their proper training. But anyhow, yeah. So fuss about the mole. And then eventually it came off anyway. It came off the next day, actually, after he finished ranting. So it was just like mole removal, and I was using silver nitrate and stuff, which caused them a load of fuss. It was like, oh no, it can't be a vampire.
Yes.
Maybe we're just a stronger vampire than them.
Oh my God!
So I still got a tiny bit of scar on there from where the mole came off. Is gone red, which is that's normal. Eventually it'll clear up possibly, and it's hardly noticeable anyway. But where the bullet was is still the scars visible. But they it was just so obvious they were guilty about something. They were they couldn't stand the fact that they was bringing attention to it. But the thing is, when I got shot, it probably got caught on camera because it was right outside the Royal Mail delivery depot or whatever. And people already know this story. I've said it to other people.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So that was that was Jesse. He was the one who probably did that, and because it happened a while back, and obviously I was a bit dazed when I got shot in the head, as you would be. After being shot in the head, you're not going to be quite.
I would go to a hospital. I'd be so panicked. Oh my God, that's just awful.
Yeah, well, because in England you can't carry like shotguns, especially in public. So I think the most powerful gun he could have carried would be a BB gun or an air rifle, which it would graze. He could possibly lose an eye, I suppose, if he aimed directly for the eye. But
yes. Oh my God, but still, it's terrifying. I mean, that's awful. I'm so sorry you went through that. I'm so glad that you came out of it okay.
Yeah, I know. Like people said, "Oh, why didn't you report it to the police?" And I think, well, I didn't actually think about it, And the police don't seem to be doing anything else apart from pose. I've never seen them actually arrest anybody or do it to anybody that didn't seem to be like part of a stage managed drama. Whatever.
Oh my God! But
so yeah, it's been sort of stuff like that really going on in the house, and then William's like ranting about everybody in the family. He goes, "You're all a bunch of wankers," and I've got it in the emails, and just like listing faults with everybody, saying I hardly pay any rent or something, and I was like, yeah, whatever.
He's talking about you.
Yeah.
I pay, oh my God!
Yeah, because I don't pay the full rent, but it's like, well, it's because it's my house. I'm going to get this house, and I'm the firstborn.
Thank you. Yes.
And I'm here sort of like security. The house would fall to pieces if I wasn't here. I'm not just saying that either. I mean, they'd just be running amok if I wasn't here. It's in the middle of town and stuff, so it's got that sort of status as well. So yeah, obviously, criminals and stuff. I mean, that's what they've been trying to do, try and overrun it with criminal scum and stuff like that. And because that last guy, the guy who ran up the stairs and tried to chuck himself out the top of the house, he was he was known already to the police because he drove through a wall in a shopping centre in order to get to the front of the queue and bought something apparently. and they couldn't do anything about it, even though obviously they knew who it was from the, and they could identify him, got the car registration number, and they could have fingerprinted him and done everything else. But I wouldn't have believed that story for a second. I just thought that was what I'd call chavvy bullshit. Chav is like Cheltenham average, just like bullshit talk that people on the street talk. But it was the actual policeman saying it. when he was there after the latest incident where they had arrested him. I don't know why they're hanging around the house particularly, but because it was a couple, and his missus, her nanny, in inverted commas. I mean, she didn't even want to be called that, but I'll say, oh yeah, I'll call you nanny. Her nanny then. She was there, like, giving a statement to the police, and so I also spoke because, as a son of the landlady, I got to like check up on these things, and just like sort of curious why there was a policeman in the kitchen anyway,
right?
Dressed in like riot gear or whatever. It was pretty much riot gear without the riot helmet. Yeah. So.
So go on, by all means. And how about with the work that you're doing? I take it you've noticed, of course, that England has essentially gone into depression. That it's the worst economic state of the developed world right now, and they've got and under Boris Johnson, of course, we have all these problems with the COVID-19. It's been a nightmare. I'm so glad you're handling this so well.
It's been wonderful. If you like, destruction of the British Empire. So yeah. Oh yeah, guys, Dandio is just so ridiculous. The whole Brit thing is just so ridiculous.
And the Brexit bullshit. I mean,
yeah.
So what I said.
It's just never ending. It's just like the end stream of bullshit, and people just buy it. Yeah, and then like. Instead of like things getting better, just get another stream of bullshit go directly into your mouth and into your ears and into your eyes. That's the media. True. Yeah, I had this idea of like the Matrix, a Matrix of bullshit. And people standing and sitting and doing all the other things, and through their eyes and ears and mouths and butts, you just see joined together a stream of bullshit. Yeah, and that's the Matrix. That's what the Matrix is. It's just a matrix of bullshit. Because that's all they see, all they talk about, all they listen to. Everything that comes out of them is shit. And everything that goes into them is shit as well. So that's the matrix of bullshit. Because the coronavirus thing, the reaction to it is, there's the virus itself, and there's a ridiculous public reaction to it. Like you see these people wearing the mask, and the mask on, mask off, mask on, mask off. They have this thing called dick nose. Do you know what a dick nose is?
What? I mean, I've heard of it, but I forgot.
Okay, it's where you wear a face mask, but you don't cover your nose.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, those assholes.
Because your nose sticks out like a dick,
Yes.
That's called dick nose.
Oh my god. Fucking idiots.
I know, yeah. It's like, either you're going to do it or you don't do it. And now they they'll go, oh, we'll do it, but we'll make it fashionable. We're going to be making a fashion statement out of it. It's so ridiculous. It's a tiny little virus. It's not there, to make you look trendy.
Yes.
It's trying to kill you, not very effectively, obviously.
Oh my god.
But the whole coronavirus thing is just, it's all just a way of getting people to do stupid things, I think, at the end of the day. And while they do other stuff in the background, while they're just distracted by all the deadly sniffles.
Well, definitely, people do stupid things anyway.
They don't need any encouragement. They don't need the virus to do that. So.
Yes, it's so true. The virus just makes them stupider. They just get stupider no matter what you do.
Yeah, it just makes it more in your face. Makes it more of a I think that's the word. Yeah. Extroverty and introverted stupidity.
Yeah. So when I was telling the people, I had never understood with my listeners on the latest episode. I was telling them, and I never understood why the communist Chinese have never use this as any kind of example or counterattack. But of course, Communist China is trying to absorb Hong Kong, and it's just horrible. And the British, of course, have been genuinely impotent, generally impotent about it, and just making some protests. But I said the British have their own Hong Kong problem in the sense of Gibraltar, and Gibraltar has been trying to stay in Europe. Gibraltar desperately wants to stay in Europe, and the British say no. I mean, they're saying Gibraltar is an integral part of Britain, and Gibraltar is begging for a condominium between Spain and Britain. And really, if the Gibraltarians had their way, they'd let the Spanish in. They'd open the gates and let the Spanish in so they could stay in Europe. But the fucking Brits are saying absolutely not. And so I said this would this because the British are going everywhere down in terms of they're just basically being cut off from Europe. Their economy is tanking. They're going to start lashing out. This is what nations in pain do when they're on the way down. They seek an external war. So at some point, when the Gibraltarians basically try to reintegrate into European Union, the British will step in, and if the Spanish come in, there will be war. And I said, people don't understand this. This isn't like the Falklands. This is war in Europe. And I said, because the Spanish were the people who perfected guerrilla war. We have the very term guerrilla from the Spanish term that was developed during the Napoleonic Wars. I said the British will have a bad enough time of it with probably resort to nukes because they're a nuclear power. And at that point, then what you're going to have is the British will support, of course, the secessionist movements, Catalonia and the Basquelanders, and so they'll support these secessionist movements, and Spain on the Iberian Peninsula will balkanize, and the Brits will have to maybe occupy a good part of Andalusia and just incorporate Gibraltar. But at that point, the European Union and the whole world would respond with sanctions against Britain. So Britain would have to truly it would be like an island. At that point, Scotland and Wales and the Isle of Man and Northern Ireland will all secede just to stay in Europe. And they get away from the sanctions. That's what they did with Yugoslavia. Everybody left Serbia to get away from the sanctions. So the British would just truly be alone. And I said they'd really have to locate more and more of the British administrative center, since London's kind of no longer serving that focal point anyway. Everybody's moving into fucking Europe across the bay. Then the British would have to move. I predict in that case the British would really move their capital to Gibraltar. Essentially, they would become more and more of a Mediterranean civilization because they train all the fucking sheikhs at Sandhurst. So since they train all the sheikhs at Sandhurst, they'd have much more in common with the Arab sheikhs. Will support them, and then they'll become more part of that North African. I said that would be the third British Empire, more and more of a North African relocation and refocus. So I told people it sounds crazy, but really people have no idea how close that scenario is becoming. And we got a year until fucking Brexit, and the British have done nothing. The European Union is going to say, well, in or out, you're out, and because that's what they said, and the British are just going to. What are they going to do?
I think it was Halloween, wasn't it? In Halloween, they say a final deadline.
That was what it was supposed to be. Yeah, that's what. I think so. It was. That was.
They don't. The British media don't even like people calling it Halloween. Say it's October the 31st, and it's like some guy who they're interviewing will say Halloween, and you can see them cringing, hating it.
True. It's true. It's true. Let's look that up and see when Brexit date. Let's see Brexit final date, decision, or final date.
Well, I think they've got to be out by the end of the year, but I think the final date they can stay in Europe, if they decide they want to stay in Europe after all, is Halloween. But I think they've already said that several times that they're not going to stay in Europe.
Right. They've been so. It's crazy because you've got a minority of crazies who are leading this movement to national suicide. I mean, Britain is more and more. Oh God, how can I say it?
It's like headless chicken or something. There's no real, there's no head to it. It's just sort of like a zombie that's just running around with no real government really. They're just a bunch of puppets. It's like meat, and just bleating away and talking, lots of talking, but nothing actually happening.
Yes.
So all they've been doing since Brexit started is talking. You know, and you think with the quarantine and stuff, they'd be locked in their stupid little chambers or whatever. Their potty chambers. And
right.
to hack it out, you know, write out a proper Brexit deal. It's like, no, it's too boring. No, I want a party.
Yes. Yes. But by the way, you know about, I presume you know about this. Let me get this link to you. I'm sure you would find this at least morbidly entertaining. This is like, let me get this over to you. Hold on for a second. Where's your message box? Here we are, Messenger. There we are. This you've probably been familiar with this, but I'm sending you this just in case you haven't seen it. And tell me what you think of this, if this reminds you of anything. Prince Andrew allegedly used a puppet of himself to grope victims at Jeffrey Epstein's. Oh shit! So
isn't that just a metaphor for like an altar? Like he doesn't remember what he did, so he's
yes, it's his altar. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. He was in an altered state, so yeah. I haven't heard of it before. So have you heard about the King John III story?
No, tell me.
Have you heard of that one? Joseph Gregory Hallett.
Oh no, I haven't.
You might have got because you've seen a headline of it. Unless you chase it, you can't really see that much. He's sort of been hidden under. But so supposedly King John III. He's supposedly the legitimate heir to the British throne and all that. And so he's saying like, oh, you know, the Queen's abdicating. Queen's been abdicating since 1967. And he's got all this evidence to back himself up. But a few other people are saying, oh, I don't believe it. But they just like, oh, I just don't accept it. There's no real substance to their dismissal. But I mean, it could be something like that. If there's like a new King of England, he's going to have to be like the Messiah and sort out the mess, sort of thing. Which is what he's claiming to be. Yeah, I know. I heard William the Greville Warrington. He's the one with the scheme of the hotel thing that he's abandoned since he can get it, and that's like his scheme. But I heard him say that those words because one of his problems is he thinks he's Prince William.
Oh shit! Okay, that makes sense. Just true.
Yeah. So I mean, just the fact that he's got his name mentioned, you see, that's good accomplishment in itself. Just to sort of like scare Prince William. But I mean, yeah, Joseph Gregory Howlett stuff's quite interesting. He goes into like loads of different details about stuff. He's done like 5 books of the new King of England, but it's all been suppressed by MI 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. And he's actually been on shows since 2008 talking about things. He was on Red Ice.
Well, that figures.
Yeah. Well, bad luck, you know. Sheesh. That's I hate it's like so many times he's like I've never heard Hendrik Palmgren. I've never heard him say sheesh so many times in one show. Sheesh. He came up. It's like Hendrik Palmgren came up with these really naff English phrases to use because obviously English is not his spoken language, but they often say now, he's doing really well for somebody from where he is, Finland or something. You know, speaking English like that. But you had these naff English phrases, one of them sheesh, but we got this thing called shish kebabs, so just make me think about shish kebabs. And it's like, oh, what about Donna kebab as well? So he was on that, and he was only on a one show of that. But I posted links to that. I'm on various Joseph Gregory Hallett, the King John III Facebook groups. So one of them keeps on voting me top fan. And I was like, okay, well, I hadn't actually posted anything, but I know why you did that. Because they want to get that, so I'm like, like a star reporter or something. I do, if I was posting articles on Global Times, I think, or just making commentary on Twitter, and like they like retweet it. Like, whenever I said, even if it's something daft or whatever, pretty much, something really innocuous and trivial, and it's like, haha, or something like that, they retweet it. With no sort of apparent background. So, that's what I'm saying about me being well known, being tacit.
Right. Now tell me, could you explain this? The photographs here of these ships. These are in Britain. I just sent you a link, and they're in Britain, and apparently they're saying that the British may have the next Beirut blast in Britain because of these ships. They're just bombs waiting to go off, and I can't understand. Do you see those homes on the deck? There are people living these little residential homes.
Yeah,
on
I see them.
deck.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? I mean, they all have that. What is that? Why are these homes on the deck? They must be like parked permanently. Like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They must be there for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, and
So there's probably holes, homes on the deck and holes in the ship, probably.
Yes. Oh my god! And they got the whole tents covering up everything. I mean, oh my god! I can't even imagine living on that shithole. Why would anyone want?
Why do you want to?
I mean,
Yeah, you're on the docks anyway. Can't you move onto the docks? Live in the docks.
I guess, yeah, and so that.
I suppose if you're storing drugs or something, it's more convenient. You could always be, oh, we'll get the ship started. The Roses are on to us or something. Yeah. I think Roses.
Oh shit! But
Slang term of the place, I think.
And their mail. I guess they'd get their mail at the dock. They'd have to go off the ship to collect their mail. Or something. It's But well, there you have that, and so that must keep Boris Johnson up at night, just waiting for one of those things to blow up.
Yeah.
And, so, but definitely between that and the ugly.
But why is it a black and white photograph? Or is it not? I think it's
an excellent point. It's probably a photograph from the war. I would.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's an article from actual World War II. I mean, I was just looking at it. I didn't realise it's an actual new thing.
Yeah. But they're worried about what it'll do now. I mean, well, fuck that. That ship had been sitting in Beirut for almost since World War II. I mean, basically about 10 years or something like that. It was after Putin sent it over, and then it was a Russian ship, and then it, finally blew. It's. It
would just be making the water rusty, won't it, by now? It wouldn't be seaworthy.
Yes, that's right. It wouldn't be. Yeah, good point. I mean, unless it were being maintained and scraped, unless it were being scraped regularly. Yeah. And I don't know if they're doing that. But
I doubt it.
Oh, that's so. Love you dearly, dear brother. I will hugs, and I will take off for now. But I'm definitely going to keep you up to date. I'm so glad that you have the unnecessary passwords.
I've downloaded the videos now, so I can take the audio off and put up the videos onto the website now.
Oh, bless you. And so what did you learn from Lena Shea? Did she tell you anything about the craziness that went down? I mean, her behavior has just radically changed.
No, she hasn't contacted me in ages.
Oh, but she must have given you the new... she didn't need to give you the new password?
No, she didn't need to give me any password to put the uploads onto. But I haven't accessed the admin section on the Douglas Dietrich website either.
Okay, I see. So what you work with then are basically, let me see, the login to the hosting account. So what you'd work with is the hosting accounts because you have the password's phone number. The numbers are her phone number to her Capital District massage parlor. Did you know that? That's what they are. Spaced through to her Capital District massage parlor. Where, yeah. And the other one, to the hostgator.com, the password is 331, same phone number. So now you know that's her phone number in the States.
Wow. Now I have to keep that. So it's going to be an essential part of my life from now on. I don't know how I live without it.
Well, definitely, you have a blessed day. It must be like dawn where you're at.
It's
London.
4 minutes past 11. Yeah.
Okay. 11 in the afternoon? You mean in the morning?
In the morning. Yeah, Joseph Gregory Hallett thing. If you've got time, you might want to investigate that. He's got
what do
he's got a YouTube channel called King of UK.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting because the stuff he comes up with, and he's done like analysis and movies and stuff like that. And there's this one clip that is from a movie called Megamind. It's a Disney crap thing, and he's got this big fat guy shouting at a little girl, going, "There is no Queen of England." It's a big part of the storyline. He's got it on a loop, so it's quite interesting. So it's, and some of the weird things that William Windsor, William Winsington has said on broadcasts and stuff, where he's like saying he had to take his he was like saying he was naked or something without air, so he bowed his head in front of the camera and stuff like that. So that sort of analysis is quite interesting. But yeah, I mean, people are like, is he ultimately the king of England? And it was like, well, these people giving their opinions. Well, for a start, you're American. I mean, if there was actual basis for their dismissal, it's like, no, I don't like him, this sort of thing. He's Kiwi, he's from New Zealand, which is where my mum allegedly was from. So.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's quite interesting.
Oh,
also, he looked like this guy called Clive Billing, who worked at who ran this company. He sort of invented this company called 247k.com and also Gemnet. I mean, I worked for him for about, I don't know, 9 months in the early 2000s. But Clive Billing was like 5 times fatter.
Okay. Yeah.
So he does look a bit like the Colonel from KFC as well.
Oh God.
Yeah, same sort of thing. So I was thinking, it'd be interesting to see if there's a connection between him and Michael Aquino.
Right.
Because
interesting.
Aquino is often referenced as the Colonel, and there was KFC imagery when they're talking about Michael Aquino. But you see, sort of like in retrospect, that might have been about Joseph Gregory Hallett. And not Aquino, and Aquino obviously would recognise that and just sort of like gloated, go, I'll get the credit for it anyway, sort of thing.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'll check that
so
out.
I mean, Burger King, that sort of thing. It could be accused of. I know it's another fast food shop, but yeah. There's also a character in Homestar Runner who looks like him called King of Toon. King of Town, which is like similar to King of UK.
Right.
That was from like 2008 or something.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, definitely. Thank you for that. And
yeah, that's worth checking. I mean, it's like that might be like England's salvation.
I was about to say England definitely needs something new.
It needs something at the top, doesn't it? It needs something at the top to direct it, to get it out of this mess it's got itself into, or become embroiled in, or just like the result of global events. Because they don't seem to have, like I was saying, it's the headless chicken. There's no real power at the top telling what to do. They just sort of guess it, and they're just like, oh, so and so said to Twitter, so we'll copy a bit of that and we'll do something else that somebody else seems to want, and just headless chicken.
Yeah. Yes, it's a good point, and that's where God, I hope everything stays well for you and all of these upcoming changes.
It's fine. I think I rode through the worst of it. I think everybody's been embarrassed and had their own shit thrown in their face, and so I have all the emails anyway that. Been going around the family, and they already know that I've been sending those emails out to various people in the past. My mum's insane emails I'd sent to like Janet Swerdlow in like 2010, so I didn't send it directly to Stuart Swerdlow, but I know they have connections with like Russian intelligence and all this sort of thing. So I was just as a way of sort of like a warning, saying, they're up to this now. There's nothing new about anything my mum's done. I mean, my dead half sister was saying she was up to similar stuff, and she's been like that whole life. But it's just sort of like me sort of notifying them they're not getting away with it, sort of thing. If I died mysteriously, they'd trace it back. I think it's called nefarious. I used to call it multi-nefariosity or something. Nasty in lots of ways.
Right. Yes.
But also, at the end of the day, totally ineffective, because I'm just too good for them. Too good.
Yes.
Their schemes are too little narrow-minded, and it's sort of like evil can't win, sort of thing, I suppose. If you want to simplify it as much as possible.
I'm so glad you survived the assassination attempt. I'm glad she didn't bring you down.
Yeah. It was just made me feel a bit dazed for a bit. That was it, and obviously I got a scar. But I think, I don't know whether that was like to kill me outright or to claim that I was the Antichrist, because the Antichrist obviously wants...
Good point. Yeah. That way they could claim that you'd risen from the dead and make you're the Antichrist.
Yeah. It's exactly. It's like, that's it. It's exactly. It's like, John's the Antichrist, not me. Him. It's exactly what you expect Damien to say, isn't it, really, in the Omen series? He's the Antichrist.
That's right. Perfect.
So the Accuser, I think, is also mentioned. I think He's not mentioned in the Bible as far as I know, but he is in those sort of like prophecies. There's somebody called the Accuser.
Right, that's true. Interesting point. Oh, well, bless you. Have a great day, and we'll speak soon.
Yeah. Okay. See you soon. Bye. Speak to you soon. Bye. Hello. Right.
I'm so sorry. You caught me stretching when I called. So, John, can you? Thank you so much for that link. I could never have found that without you. That's fascinating. That this individual is related to you. That's incredible.
William Morrison. Oh, he's like Joseph Gregory Hallett. There's two links. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he doesn't look much like me.
Right. No.
I managed to gurn until I look something like him, but only after strenuous exercise and bending over.
Yes,
so it's sort of an nearest imitation of me being buggered. I look like him, which is no real surprise, really. He's all about the homosexuality and.
Yes.
Homosexuality justification. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what I think it's all about with him. It's like, he's like, I got rejected by a supermodel, so now that's what I'm getting. But he won't admit to it. So yeah.
So, do you know anything about Instagram? I need your help now that Lena Shea has totally fucking abandoned myself and fucked me over. I'm sorry?
She has? You didn't say that. You said she had, you said about a password or something. So,
what did I say?
It has her massage number.
Yeah, she's got the massage parlor. She was, long before I met her, or shortly before I met her, she had established that in her the neighborhood where she lives now, which is, of course, Albany, New York, with her husband, which is way out in the middle of bumfuck upstate New York, away from the city. But they're all like up in Twilight Zone up there. If you're familiar with the game Silent Hill, think of that. They're all like Silent Hill and shit, the video game. So yes, what has happened is that she basically got totally freaked out by myself, and I myself. And basically what happened was that there was that weird attack we had on the night of Lilith Aquino, thinking I was going to talk about her, and then I had to produce from Derek Talley's Black Empowerment channel. You might remember his little black channel that Derek Talley has. I had to go from there to
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that night, everything in our relationship between this young lady that I used to know named Lena Shea and myself ended. Everything ended that night. She basically, as far as I'm concerned, her behavior radically changed. Brendan Zogit is convinced, along with Jay Maurice, that Lilith Aquino essentially cast a spell on her, and she may as well have. I mean, she's just she claims that this has been building up for a long time, in which case it doesn't make any sense that she would never give any indication of it. But she's abandoned me. So we've severed, and the biggest problems we have are going to be in the near future, where like a messy divorce. Is the website. It's her website, but she's not going to be maintaining it anymore. And she was maintaining myself on Instagram. So the other person who has made claims she could help with the website, but is now making herself unavailable, is Selena Khan. Now, Selena Khan and Lena Shea have apparently been in communications with each other, and they just have influenced each other to the extent where Selena Khan is just avoiding me like the plague now. Okay. Which is like, yeah. So this is what's going on, and everything is totally fucked. So it happened at the worst possible time, just when everything was going smoothly and larger donations are coming in. Yeah. But so Lena decided to go on the attack with Lilith Aquino. She essentially has joined the side of the enemy. Now this is something she totally reviles and reacts violently against, and says, "How dare you say that about me?" But what am I supposed to say? I mean, oh my God, well, and why? Why are you doing this now? It makes no sense. Yeah. But she says, "Oh, it's every sense. It's like it's just crazy bullshit." And
what date did she do the start attacking you like directly? Is this week? Was it?
Yeah, she started telling everybody in her crowd that I was a dangerous, unstable lunatic. That and she began to take some things and run with them, a few things out of context.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it is a strange sort of time to do that if you don't connect it with like stuff that's William Warrington and that sort of stuff. I think it could be another angle of attack of his, because he's been trying to get onto your show, but apparently when they do tests or whatever, they have somebody like you talking or something. The two of them just sound like total fags. You can't get onto shows. You can't get onto shows because homosexuality comes across, and it's all he wants to talk about is gay stuff. Yeah. he's got that perspective. It always comes across, and he's too biased. He's not. He can't. He's just sounds like a fag. Apparently, this is what I heard. So yeah, it could be revenge because he's like things are falling apart around him. He's sort of cringing in a corner at the moment. I think shouting at nothing.
All I can say is the ladies are the vulnerable links in the chain with people around me, even more so than the men. Sometimes the men were, like Pavel, were simply assigned. Guys like that are just assigned to, but with guys like, with the ladies, the interesting thing is they're easily turned. And it's not because they're even afraid or threatened. It's just that for some reason their minds are weak or something. I think
not make excuses for them, but I think they get off on the drama.
Yes, and like with that medical cosmetologist I had for years, what happened was she got first she was like she was trying to start her own stupid little business, and then, like I told you before, we were trying to report the platform on which Richard K. Cole was attacking her. But all the while that was going on, this crazy medical cosmetologist who knew me for years, Vanessa Ann Clark, who goes by V. Clark, she just started going into the guy's stupid, little thread that's on Bell Gap. And of course, he named his thread Critical Omissions with Douglas Dietrich in the hope that anybody looking me up would get him instead. And and he just has that crazy thread in which he just talks shit about me, and just thousands of pages. And it's just him and three other guys. Half of them, at least one of them is himself. It's the same IP address. Just basically him talking to himself, and then maybe one other crazy. I mean, and she would read this shit, and it's all self-contradictory, even in the same sentence. Himself. Doesn't make any sense. But she just fell in this guy's spell, and she was just fascinated with him, and then just kept bothering me about him for a long enough period of time where she just became another gang stalker. She was just basically the enemy after a while. With Lena Shea, it was this crazy guy named Zachary Garrett. When Zachary Garrett showed up after Aquino died, and then Lilith Aquino made her attack, and then Zachary Garrett started showing up, then that's when Lena Shea went batshit crazy, over the way I was treating Zachary Garrett, who's obviously an asset. And so she's just did everything she could to fuck me over, which was just to make certain that she left everything hanging so that everything got backed up, and then just abandoned me. So the whole thing was, she was like taking all of my promotional banners and putting them on the Instagram. And what we're going to have to do now is just do everything she did before. So I don't know if you're willing to participate or how much you can participate, but maybe based on the template of what she was doing, maybe you could help me by taking over some of her responsibilities, and then I can more just heavily and aggressively advertise that people maybe give to Maggot millions, because I try to do that twice each episode anyway, but maybe I'll do that more aggressively.
I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure what it involves yet, so it's going to be difficult because my internet connection being crap.
Okay.
That's always going to be a problem.
Right. I know I can trust you with the passwords. It's not a problem there. The problem is that Selena Khan was suggesting she could do all this, but
you fell out with her, didn't you? That's what we were saying earlier.
She's avoiding me like the plague now. Ever since her and Lena Shea have been communicating with each other. And
well, I guess I could take over the website, but I'm not sure how much time I could actually spend on it a day and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Well, you couldn't do what she did. I mean, she was writing what you call top sites, which was topics covered in this episode. There's no point in doing something like that.
No.
I mean, all we would be doing would be like the format. Otherwise, would just be putting up the two images, one that I use in the embedded thumbnail and one that I use for the promotional banner. You would just put both those up like she did, and then post that along with the link to the show on YouTube or in the archives, whichever one you would prefer.
Yeah.
And then that way. But what about the Instagram? Do you know anything about Instagram where you could just kind of catch up? Because she hasn't put anything up since that Lilith Aquino attack when she went batshit crazy.
No, I mean it's difficult to get hold of pictures on Instagram. I can get hold of them, but there's a few extra steps I've got to do.
No. What I mean is, I would give you the pictures to post on Instagram. That's all she was doing. She was taking the same pictures that we.
Well, if you've got all the account details, yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
Okay. Well, the account details are simply the Facebook timeline. It's just awful. It's just fucking awful what she did.
Yeah.
I
got one payment out of her, and that was it. It was like $100 or something, and I wasn't even sure if that was.
One payment on the Maggot Millions, you mean? Right?
No, nothing to do with that. It was just like I got $100 off her, but I don't think it was even to do with the website. I think it was just like a contribution to the YouTube channel or something.
Okay, right. Well, I mean, it's just that she made me totally dependent on her, and then she fucking bugged out. So let me take a look at what my account is. Give me a second here.